All right, new AP Top 25 poll released on Sunday. Top 7, no changes, but a whole lot of shuffling within the top 25. That's because teams like Vanderbilt and Georgia Tech and Miami and Tennessee and Cincinnati all lost and all fell more than a half dozen spots. That led to a big jump up for the Oklahoma Sooners, up 7 spots to number 11. The Texas Longhorns also up 7 spots to number 13. The Utah Utes up 7 spots as well. Tom, either the rankings as a whole, any in particular ballots? Do you want to address head-to-head losses not mattering if it happens in the Red River rivalry?
And there's a lot to go this week. I'm going to start with the lowest hanging fruit, in my opinion. And we talked about this on Saturday night. There was going to be one 3-loss team in the top 25, and we all knew who it was going to be, and it's Tennessee. Tennessee hanging on at 23 with guys like Pete Yanity putting them at 15 on their ballot.
Whoa.
Tennessee is 6-3. It has played 3 ranked teams. It has lost to all 3 of those ranked teams. 2 of them were at home. If you look at its wins, you would argue that its best win is Mississippi State. Its 3 SEC wins have been Mississippi State, Arkansas, and Kentucky. 3 teams that are combined, let me see here, 2-14 in SEC play. What has this team done to tell you that it deserves to be ranked over other possible 2-loss Power 4 teams, or even other 3-loss Power 4 teams who have better wins and maybe better losses than you do? So the only reason Tennessee is still ranked is because it was ranked to begin the year, and it is the same thing we get with, and I don't hold it against the voters because it's a tough thing to do these ballots every week, and it is time consuming to put a lot of thought into it. But it's just human nature that it is easier to move a team down than it is to spend 5 minutes thinking of a team you should put in. And that's what happens. So Tennessee just gets slid down instead of people doing the kind of constructive thinking of like, well, what about this team? I haven't ranked them, but maybe it's about time I do. So like Iowa's not ranked, but Tennessee is. Explain that to me.
It's the old close losses. They're the best 3 close loss team in the country.
Well, they lost by 17 to Alabama, though.
It is fairly ridiculous. I did want to hit on, so I feel like I've been a defender of Miami. I mean, even after they lost to Louisville, I was saying, hey, they still could win the national championship. And they did not look good against SMU. I still think SMU is a pretty good football team, so I don't think that should be a devastating loss. And yet it's such a recency bias thing, which we all get caught up in. How the heck is Notre Dame and Miami so far apart? Like, I wouldn't have a problem if you had Notre Dame above them, even though they did lose the head-to-head. But Miami's body of work, I think overall, is significantly better than Notre Dame's, and yet they're not even close in the 8 spots different for the Canes, I think is completely ignoring the on-the-field results.
I'm going to push back a little on their resume being significantly better than Notre Dame's. I mean, they beat Notre Dame. That's
like they are both 6-2 teams, and there is a head-to-head result that has Notre Dame losing at Miami by 3 points.
But Miami's best win is South Florida, and I'm not denigrating the Bulls. They're a good team. But Notre Dame has played similar teams and won those games. Their other wins are Stanford, Florida State, Florida, Bethune-Cookman. Those aren't great, and they've played 2 other good teams besides Notre Dame in Louisville and SMU, and they've lost them both. So, I mean, I don't think their overall resume is that much better than Notre Dame's, but the fact that they have the head-to-head win should probably carry a little more weight. But again, it's just the same process. Where were they this week? Okay, slide them down because they lost. This team won, keep them the same or move them up.
Well, all right. So we talk about, rankings versus ratings a lot. Like, are you a power ratings type person when you fill out a ballot, or are you a rankings who judge the resume or the whole body of work? I mean, Tom, you've done power rankings before. I mean, one of my first blogging gigs was an NBA power rankings weekly assignment for a website called the Hoop Doctors. And I think in those kinds of assignments, when you're given a ballot and you're doing it every week, you are very prone to recency bias. One of those teams has won 6 games in a row. The other one's lost 2 of 3. So even Like, and I don't know whether that's a fair thing or not, but if you're just giving it every single week, you're saying, how do they fall far apart? Because every time I look up, one of these teams is losing or tied 7-7 at halftime. And then,
but that is such like luck of the draw. Cause I had some people this morning hit me up on X. They think I hate Notre Dame. And they're like, well, Notre Dame's gotten better for 6 weeks in a row. Are we sure? Did we watch against Boston College? Like CJ Carr struggled somewhat. Like, yes, they've won 6 in a row, but if you had the Miami Notre Dame game happen 2 weeks ago and you had the Texas A&M game happen this weekend, Notre Dame probably would be well below Miami if they happen. And like, as we judge things based on resumes, like timing does matter, which doesn't seem right the way we select our teams. I get that it comes into play. And again, like I think Miami, I think a lot of these will solve themselves, and Miami's not very good. Maybe they lose another game and it's a non-factor. But when we get to that point where we stack up their resumes, if Miami does win out, they would have better opportunities and better wins. Well, they do have a common opponent, right? They both play Pitt, still left. So maybe that's one you could glean from it, where Miami could have an opportunity to make some ground on Notre Dame.
Or Pitt could have an opportunity to beat them both.
Miami looked awful. They didn't look like a playoff team to me, but I think that's also, and I know Tom wanted to do something about this, like Kirby's smart, and boy, these coaches are geniuses, absolute geniuses, because you're watching the Florida game and I'm thinking, these two teams don't look that good. Like either one of them, like Florida's playing out of their mind, but I'm thinking Georgia, are we sure they're one of the best teams in the country? And then what does Kirby do? As soon as he gets a microphone in his front of his face after the game, he's like, well, I tell you what, that Florida team, boy, that Billy Napier's got one of the best rosters. He assembled one of the best rosters in the country. And this was one of the best. This is what happens in the SEC when you go week in, week out. Ooh, man. Instead, when Mario gets beat, he's complaining about bad calls. And as opposed to saying, you know what, that SMU team was in the playoffs last year. They're a really good football team. This shows you how tough it is to play in the ACC. They don't do that. The messaging from the SEC is so on point that it's all of them. They preach that narrative, and it helps them all.
I will say, Mario Cristobal had to have been thinking. I mean, I'm not. We can't be counting on Mario Cristobal for a lot these days.
No,
you definitely can't count on him to handle the messaging to represent the ACC. I mean, if I'm Jim Phillips, PhD, MD, there's no way that I'm picking up the phone and being like, Mario, come on, man. Like, you were right. Why couldn't you do that for us? I mean, why couldn't you do that for us? That was win as a double-digit favorite against an SMU team that just lost to Wake Forest 13-12.
The ACC is a broken home. Meanwhile, the SEC is sending you pictures of their entire family, the mom, the dad, and the 10 kids all wearing the same outfit in like the pumpkin patch every fall.
Yep. Even though they're probably fighting every day behind closed doors.
Yeah, but that's not what matters. That's not what matters.
Mommy, what did Daddy do to get us so rich? Well, he sat on a Zoom call and said, nothing on my end. Thanks. Oh, man. Good stuff. All right. Anything else from the rankings or individual ballots? I was a little bit, as I mentioned on Saturday night, an Iowa, a James Madison, a San Diego State, 2-loss Pitt, if you wanted to throw them in there as well. There were certainly options. North Texas, 1-loss team. There's some significant options if you wanted to reach for somebody, but there also wasn't one team that I think is just at least best coming off a result. Iowa was off. So, I
will say shout out to the 2 voters from last week that probably weren't very impressed with LSU's bye week, like the practices that they had. So they decided to take them out of the top 25 despite the bye week. Like, good for them. They probably were watching some film and just kind of
but there was one ardent supporter. Shout out to Kirk Kenny at the San Diego Union Tribune, who's holding strong, still has LSU at 22 on his ballot.